For 25 years, search engines answered a question by sending you somewhere else. AI search increasingly answers inside the search page itself, and that small change could rewrite how the open web is funded. The old bargain was simple. Publishers produced useful pages. Search engines indexed them. Users clicked through, and those visits created advertising revenue, subscriptions, donations, sales, and attention. That exchange was never perfectly balanced, but it gave millions of sites a reason to publish information that was free to discover. Search did not create most of the underlying material. It organized attention around it. AI overviews changed the first screen. Instead of only listing links, the search engine can assemble a direct summary above them. A user may still click, but the answer arrives before the visit. AI mode goes further. It behaves more like a conversational research assistant, combining follow-up questions, synthesis, and linked sources inside a longer exchange. The destination is no longer a page. It is an ongoing session. Standalone assistants create a third model. They can search the web, but the user enters through the assistant rather than a traditional search page. The platform controlling the answer may also control which sources are surfaced, quoted, or ignored. For users, the appeal is obvious. A good synthesis is faster than opening 10 tabs, comparing explanations, and filtering repeated information. The problem is that saved time for the reader can become lost traffic for the source. A visit is not just a vanity metric. It can trigger an advert, a subscription prompt, an affiliate sale, a donation, or a relationship with a reader. When the visit disappears, the site loses the chance to convert attention into income. The most direct recent evidence comes from a July 2026 research preprint comparing ChatGPT and Google information-seeking sessions. It reports that ChatGPT produced outbound clicks in only 5.2% of conversation sessions. The same paper estimates that wider access to ChatGPT search reduced traditional search use by 9.4%, with the largest referral losses in informational categories. Those numbers are important, but they are not the final word. A preprint has not completed peer review, and one dataset cannot describe every market, device, or type of search. The useful conclusion is not that the web has already collapsed. It is that the referral mechanism is changing fast enough to measure. Google presents a different picture. It says AI overviews and AI mode are being redesigned to make original content, trusted sources, and useful websites easier to discover, with more direct links and clearer previews. Google argues that a quick answer can create a better next click, fewer accidental visits, more informed exploration, and stronger connections to specialist sources. That is plausible, especially for complex research journeys. But publishers need data to test that claim. Aggregate statements about billions of clicks do not tell an individual newsroom whether AI features are sending fewer visitors, better visitors, or no meaningful visitors at all. This is where the United Kingdom's Competition and Markets Authority has intervened. In June 2026, it imposed a publisher conduct requirement on Google's general search services. The rule requires effective controls over how publishers' search content is used in generative AI, clearer explanations of that use, detailed engagement metrics, accurate attribution, and a clear route for users to reach the source. Those requirements reveal the real dispute. Publishers are not only asking for a link beside an answer. They want control over whether their work is used, evidence of what engagement follows, and confidence that attribution is visible enough to matter. Attribution has layers. A source can be named, linked, visually prominent, or buried behind another interaction. Each design choice changes whether a reader understands who produced the information and whether they ever leave the platform. The economics are especially fragile for general information sites funded by advertising. Their articles are easy to summarize, their value appears before the click, and each lost visit removes inventory that cannot be recovered later. Subscription publishers face a different problem. An AI answer may quote enough of a report to satisfy a casual user while hiding the deeper value that would justify payment. The platform gets the first relationship, the publisher keeps the production cost. Local news is harder to replace but expensive to produce. Court reporting, council meetings, and community investigations begin with people doing original work. If summaries reduce the audience without funding the reporting, the information supply eventually thins. Specialist sites may fare better because users still need tools, data, communities, transactions, and expert judgment that cannot be compressed into one paragraph. The more value exists after the answer, the stronger the reason to visit. This creates an uncomfortable incentive. Publishers may produce less broad explanatory material and more content that is difficult to summarize, proprietary data, live tools, strong personalities, video, communities, and direct services. That adaptation may strengthen some businesses, but it can also make basic knowledge less open. If general explanations become uneconomic, more information may move behind accounts, subscriptions, apps, or private platforms. Publishers also face a strategic choice over access. Blocking AI use may protect content, but it can reduce visibility inside new search experiences. Allowing use may preserve discovery while weakening the reason to click. The CMA's control requirement matters because that choice is only meaningful when it is effective, understandable, and not undermined through unrelated changes. Otherwise, consent becomes theoretical rather than practical. Creators are part of the same system. A tutorial, review, or explainer can be absorbed into an answer even when the creator depends on views, affiliate links, or memberships. The web's referral bargain reaches far beyond newspapers. At the same time, AI search can surface small sources that traditional rankings overlooked. A specialist with the best explanation may be cited even without a famous domain. Better discovery is possible if links are visible and incentives remain intact. The design question is whether the answer acts like a doorway or a substitute. A doorway gives enough context to choose a source. A substitute extracts the useful part and leaves little reason to continue. That distinction cannot be judged by link count alone. Placement, wording, previews, source diversity, click-through rates, and what users do after clicking all matter. This is why the CMA demanded detailed engagement metrics. The next phase will be negotiated through product design, regulation, and economics at the same time. Search companies want better answers. Publishers want sustainable traffic and control. Users want speed without losing trustworthy sources. One future is a healthier referral system. AI gives a concise orientation, highlights distinctive sources, and sends users onward when depth matters. Publishers gain better attribution, usable controls, and data that lets them improve. Another future is a closed answer economy. Platforms absorb more information, users remain inside them, and publishers compete for citations that produce little revenue. The web still exists, but fewer organizations can afford to add new knowledge. The likely outcome will sit between those extremes and vary by query. Shopping, local services, and specialist research may still produce visits. Simple informational questions are more vulnerable to being resolved inside the answer. For publishers and creators, the practical response is to reduce dependence on one gatekeeper, build direct audiences, newsletters, memberships, communities, distinctive tools, and reporting that people actively seek out. AI search is not breaking the web because answers are better. It is testing whether the organizations that produce information can still capture enough value to keep producing it. The future of search depends on whether the answer sends something back.